Bless you. Hello, this is Bubba on the road. I'm back here now I'm on downtown. Again, bless you. I'm not an uptown guy. So I just came from the Kill Creek where they have this nightmare of the boats on the creek somehow. But I thought I would walk through the downtown area a little bit. I'm going to take some pictures and I'm going to tell some stories. So this is going to be Bubba the Storyteller. Now, if I can get across here, the traffic is quite heavy today. It's the middle of the afternoon. And so the pedestrians have the right of way officially, but if they don't give it to you, you can't take it because you're the one splatted in the ground. But so this is La Paz restaurant. Now, I have never eaten here, but I used to work here sort of, like in a roundabout way. So before the Kill Creek Park was built, on the other side of the bridge here, there was a store called Young Men's Store, which is a clothing store. And on this side of the street, there was Dave's Men's Store, which was also a clothing store for men, obviously, men's clothing store. And so I worked for Dave Gordon. Now, his sister-in-law later became the mayor of Frederick, Rita Gordon. And I think she was the first woman mayor of Frederick. Well, let me just rephrase that. She was the first woman mayor of Frederick, Rita Gordon. And Dave Gordon ran Gordon's Men's Store. And he also had, there's a sun glare there, And he also, so again, this is La Paz. But he also had a electronics shop. Now, when I'm talking about electronics, I'm not talking about the fancy electronics the kids have today. I'm talking about old-time electronics. I'm talking about 1040, good buddy. He sold, I can't even think of what they're called. Little radio things that you would talk to, you know, that was the communication. It wasn't quite as bad as when we had to scribble on, had to carve things into rocks and throw the rocks through the neighbor's window, but it was close. CBs, that's what it was. And that was the big thing at the time. So he had quite a business, so he had 2 stores there. Well, after the flood occurred, and I think in 73, so I would have, well, maybe it was the one in 76, because I probably would have been about 13. And I came to work for Dave. I worked in a basement here. And I cleaned the wooden shirt holders. So they were like little cases that the shirts went in. So I sat in a dingy basement with hot soapy water cleaning these shirt holders for him. And that was Dave's Men's Store. Well, then he had the 2 stores. After the flood, then he opened a little convenience store right here. And I think it's probably called Dave's Convenience Store. I don't even remember the name of it, but I worked there too. I worked the cash register. I stocked the shelves. I even painted the walls when he opened that business. But so he had 3 businesses right here, right where La Paz is now. So technically, I worked for La Paz. I also worked for H&B, which is Hooch and Banter. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that refers to, but okay. So I worked there in that building too. And I didn't mess too much with the electronics because since it was the new in thing, Dave concentrated on that himself. Now, Dave Gordon was an interesting character, and when I say character, I mean character. He was known to like to drink, so by the end of the night, he was staggering around the store. And he would take me home, though. He would drive me up there on South Street. So just so you get a sense of where I am. This is South Market Street, the main street of Frederick. If you go up there about 4 or 5 blocks, you hang a left and go up the hill. And around the corner, that's where I lived, on South Street. And my father worked at the Farmers Co-op right across the street from our house. So another fun fact is I also delivered newspapers. So I was paper boy. And I delivered them in the morning and the afternoon. So the morning I'd start about 6 o'clock or so, and when I would get up every morning, Daddy would have them already wrapped for me with rubber bands. So I'd hear the snap of the rubber bands, and he would be putting them together, and they'd be ready for me. So I used to, because I was so early delivering, I would see the people opening these stores, and I would see the garbage men. So the garbage man, when he would see me, he'd yell, "Paper boy!" And when I saw him, I'd yell, "Garbage man!" Because that's what we did. I never knew their name. They were always garbage man to me, and I was always paper boy to them. Then there was another guy, Lisa remembers, that used to yell every time he saw me. He would yell, "Paper boy!" But I did it in the morning and the afternoon because I was working toward wanting to go to college. And so I was trying to get some extra money, and that's what I did. So I worked there at Dave's for, now brace yourself, 75 cents an hour. That's what I made at Dave Gordon's stores. And I'm sort of curious because I haven't really been downtown for a while. So if I get easily distracted, you'll have to forgive me. But Frederick is all decorated up. Anyway, back to, I made 75 cents an hour, and there's a place over there called Flippin' Pizza. I bet it's flippin' good. Craveable pies and slices. So they're not just good, they're craveable, young people. Flippin' pizzas. So anyway, oh, here's Shuck and Snack Oyster Bar. Who knew Frederick had an oyster bar? I'll tell you how old I was when I found that out. This old, today old. Anyway, so I feel like I'm being a little loud here. So I always liked the store windows because they would decorate up for the holidays as they did here. Now, I mean, I realize this is not Macy's, this is not New York City, but it's Frederick. So it's a beautiful day. So anyway, where was I at? Oh, so then eventually I went and worked for the Frederick News Post. Now there's people in the bar. I don't really want to take pictures and have them thinking I'm taking pictures of them, but it's interesting. I had no idea there was a oyster bar in Frederick. And so where was